I was looking all around for my Bible. I looked on the bed. I looked under these covers. I looked on the side of the bed a lot. I could not find it. I was like, I hope it didn't fall down there. That would have been terrible. And looked around here. I looked all around there. I looked on these shelves under there. I went downstairs to look downstairs. I looked under those blankets and under this stuff. Did not find it. He's got a selfie thing on. Okay. And I looked everywhere. I looked in the kitchen. I don't want to show it. It's kind of messy. And I had just gone downstairs. I came back up. And I had looked on this entire thing, picked up shirts, looked under it, looked everywhere I could imagine. And I believe it was not there. And look, when I was downstairs, I came back up. Look, right here. In plain day, that's the second time I touched it. I touched the side of it after it showed up here. I can't imagine how it could be there. I was looking with this in mind. Thought it had the receipt or didn't have the receipt as the placeholder. And I looked and looked. I looked everywhere on here. I can imagine I looked there. I also looked there. And I came back. It was right here in the front of it. I for sure must have, I don't know how it got there. And look, this door I leave open sometimes. Not always. And wow. Okay. Let's read from the Bible. Let's read from the Bible. Okay. We had left off, and here's my shirt that says Jesus on it. Jesus. And we had left off, I guess this is, exactly where we left off. Chapter 11. Taking my shoes off on the bed of Matthew. First chapter in the New Testament. New Testament. LSM on it says. Okay. Chapter 11 of Matthew. And when Jesus had finished giving instructions to his 12 disciples, he departed from there to teach and preach in their cities. He had told them in just before this that they were going to go into a place that was dangerous. The whole city was going to almost the whole city would turn to evil at some time. And they had, all the disciples had to go in there and try their best, like on a mission, and try to, this was something different than anything else throughout history. And so he had to be kind, and there'd be some people there who weren't as godly, and they had to somehow do what was good and for Jesus while still talking to those people and not be destroyed or attacked by them or hurt by them as much. So we had just finished there reading that. So he told them to go into the city. And when Jesus finished giving instructions to his 12 disciples, he departed from there to teach and preach in their cities. The king's poise and attitude towards every situation. The king is Jesus. Chapter 11, 2 through 30. Strengthening his imprisoned forerunner. Now when John heard that the prison of the works of the Christ, when John heard in the prison of the works of the Christ, he was in prison. They imprisoned John the Baptist, who had baptized Jesus. And he heard in the prison of the works of Christ. He sent word through his disciples. John sent word through his disciples and said to him, to Jesus, "Are you the coming one, or should we expect another?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "Go, report to John the things that you hear and see." Go report to John the things that you hear and see. And Jesus, and he said to him, "Are you the coming one, or should we expect another?" Jesus answered and said to them, "Go report to John the things that you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised, and the poor have the gospel announced to them," as Jesus was doing earlier. He was working miracles and saving people and doing all these things that are good. "And blessed is he who is not stumbled because of me." Praising his forerunner. And as these went away, Jesus began to say to the crowds concerning John, "What did you go out into the wilderness to look at? A reed shaken by the wind? But what did you go out to see? A man arrayed in soft clothing? Behold, those who wear soft clothing are in the house of kings," lowercase kings. "But why did you go out? To see a prophet? Yes, I say to you, and much more than a prophet. This is he concerning whom it is written, 'Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you.' This is he concerning whom it is written, 'Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you.' Truly, I say to you, among these born of women, there has not arisen one greater than John the Baptist. Yet he who is least in the kingdom of the heavens is greater than he." So here on earth, there are men who are looked at as greater than John the Baptist, yet Jesus truly said that John the Baptist was the greatest one. He said, "Among these born of women, among all men, there is not arisen, among all men and women, there is not arisen one greater than John the Baptist." Wow. We may have to understand this better. Let's just keep reading. We can look at these notes. If you want to understand it better and you want to press pause, you can look at these notes and maybe zoom in if you want to help you to understand what it says. "But from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of the heavens is taken by violence, and violent men seize it." For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John is taken by violence, and violent men seize it. That must be the devil and the 33 angels that had fallen from heaven. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No, that's something else. I don't get what that is. I'm going to look up the notes here. That's 12:1a. From the days of John the Baptist until that time, the Pharisees were violently frustrating people from entering the kingdom of the heavens. Hence, those who desired to enter had to do so by violence. That makes no sense. Makes no sense. But from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of the heavens is taken by violence, and violent men seize it. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. (13a). See what that means. This proves that the Old Testament dispensation was terminated by the coming of John. Thank God. That Old Testament was kind of mean and vengeful, and I'm not into it that much. Thank God. This proves that the Old Testament dispensation was terminated by the coming of John the Baptist. Thank God. Now, kind people get into heaven, not people who obtained it by, where it said here, by violence. Who obtained it by violence. That's not how things should be. That's awful. I can't imagine that it was that way, or unless the book was wrong. Unless the Old Testament was wrong. I can't fathom the meaning of it quite, but for all the prophets and all the law prophesied, that's in the Old Testament, until John. And if you are willing to receive it, he is Elijah who is to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear it. Let him hear. 14 and 15 down here for him. Malachi 4:5 prophesies that Elijah will come. When John the Baptist was conceived, it was said that he would go before the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah. Hence, in a sense, John may be considered Elijah who is to come. However, the prophecy of Malachi 4:5 will actually be fulfilled during the Great Tribulation, when the real Elijah, one of the two witnesses, will come to strengthen God's people. Hey, that's during the Great Tribulation. Now that is in the future. That is in the future. That is not in present day 2020 of September, August or September. Now is actually September. It's about September something. Early September, mid-September, something like that. And the Great Tribulation has not happened when God destroys all that's bad and evil on earth. And he restores all that's good, and he brings Jesus and Jesus is brought to the earth as to reign as king in power this time, in power and glory. And he enjoys being on earth and is not hurt. And there's no bad. And it's like heaven on earth. And people live here for 1,000 years. Or that's how it's prophesied. Not right now, but during the Great Tribulation. So that's pretty amazing. That's going to be really beautiful and good. And all the people who are good will get to enjoy things, but it's going to be some violence and the end of the world stuff before that, during that tribulation. And then after that will be the second coming of Jesus. And it could be scary, and some people will die. A lot of people will die. Big portion of the Earth's population will. But it'll be okay. If you're good and godly, you'll go to heaven. If not, all the evil will be destroyed too. So that's in the Great Tribulation. And that's when Elijah supposedly will come. Lamenting and reproaching stubborn and unrepentant generation. We're going to pick up here later We have just read Matthew chapter 11, 12, 1 through 18. Verses 1 through 18. Verse 1 through, actually no, 1 through 15. Okay, we'll pick up the rest of it later. And that's a continuation of reading the New Testament. It's a really good book, the New Testament. Okay, click like in the video, subscribe. This is John Birmingham. I'm going to go. Okay, bye.